People are getting sick worse this year than they have in years. We'll show you why that is and how we can prevent it. Good afternoon, I'm Jan Moore.
And I'm Robbie Pinkelman. We'll also show you a preview of the UNO Maverick men's basketball team heading into a new venue for the first time in 63 years. You're watching the Omaha News.
This is the Omaha News, presented by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, from the studios of UNO Television.
With the seasons changing and still no rain, allergies are among us. Reporter Anthony Pontiero found out that hay fever is worse it's been in many years.
This year's hay fever is said to be one of the worst in decades.
I had people coming in here with their eyes swollen shut, couldn't sleep at night, they were so itchy.
And many people say it's just another side effect of the drought.
In the middle of summer it was really pretty good. The grass pollen was nice and low, and for some reason this fall the weed pollen is once again through the roof. It probably has something to do with the drought.
Hay fever has always been associated with hay, but hay fever isn't caused by hay and doesn't exhibit symptoms of fever. Since grasses shed their pollens into the air about the same time hay is cut, the common term hay fever is used.
Hay fever is more of a term that the general public uses. It's really, allergies or allergic rhinitis is what we would call it.
This fall, hay fever will affect 1 in 4 Americans, but what is it this year that makes it so different?
The allergens we're seeing this year are actually due to weed pollen and mold rather than the typical hay fever ragweed symptoms. And the reason is because there was no rain. The rain usually washes the pollen off of the plants, but since there's been no rain, the wind takes it and it's just driving people crazy.
And even worse, it's coming home with you.
And with people's lawns dying, they don't realize that actually mold is growing in the lawns and it's actually tracking in on your shoes and becoming an indoor allergen too.
With such a large pollen and mold count, all we can do is stock up on over-the-counter drugs like Allegra, Zyrtec, Claritin, or Benadryl. For the Omaha News, I'm Anthony Pontiero.
The Omaha City Council has approved a controversial plan to tax local sales of tobacco products. The money will be used to finance millions in funding for a new cancer treatment and research center. The council approved the tax 5-2, with council members Gene Stoddart and Franklin Thompson voting against it. Representatives of the Nebraska Grocery Industry Association and local retailers say they expect a dramatic drop in business for convenience stores and supermarkets that sell cigarettes because smokers will travel outside the city.
Extra vitamin D may not ward off colds like previously thought, according to the New Zealand study. Researchers found that people taking monthly megadose of vitamin D got just as many colds as those taking vitamin-free placebo pills. A doctor from University of Colorado School of Medicine of Aurora said that he's skeptical about finding a cure for the common cold since they're so common and they affect so many different systems in the body. But he did say that eating a well-balanced diet would keep you healthy.
After the news of students at the University of Tennessee using alcohol enemas to get drunk, experts have come out to say that they are extremely dangerous. An alcohol enema is when somebody places a small tube into someone's rectum and pours alcohol into the colon, causing the person to get drunk faster. What makes it dangerous is that the high alcohol content overwhelms the organ. Back in 2004, a Texas man died after his wife gave him an enema, causing his blood alcohol level to soar to 0.47. If you or someone you know has an alcohol abuse problem, visit the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration at samhsa.gov or call 1-800-662-HELP.
The weather is starting to change and fall is finally here. Getting ready for winter might be the last thing on our mind because of the hot summer that we just experienced. Homeowners might think it's too early to start any preparation for winter, but it's just around the corner. It might seem early for homeowners to start getting their homes ready for winter.
We usually don't think about it until it's starting to get kind of cold in the house, and then we'll put the plastic up.
We have had such a hot summer that winter might be the last thing on our mind. I spoke with General Manager Tim Benich at Ace Hardware Store, and he said this is the best time to start winter preparation.
This is actually the best time because the weather's still warm enough for you to get outside, to look at your windows, to check your gutters. This would actually be the best time to start instead of when it starts to get really cold and you're outside miserable trying to get it all done. You can take your time, get it done right, be ready for the winter.
One main thing that homeowners should start looking is for leaks around their window. If you have a small or even a large leak coming through the seal of your window, this could be one of the reasons why you're seeing a high heating bill. An easy tip for homeowners to figure out if their window has a leak is to take a candle, light it up, take it along the rim of the window. If there's a small leak, your candle light will actually come towards you. If there's a strong enough leak, your candle will be blown out. You can use this exact same technique to any doors that lead to the outside to help you figure out if there's a leak. Other things you can start doing before winter arrives would include checking your furnace and changing your air filter. Also, check and see when was the last time you had your air ducts clean. Remember, your air ducts are like lungs to your home. Keeping them clean will keep you and your family healthier and have a cleaner airflow. For anybody who is unsure on how to start winter preparation, you can call your local heating company and have them do a winter maintenance on your home. Coming up on the Omaha News, Nebraska has the second lowest unemployment rate in the country, right behind North Dakota.
We'll show you what makes Nebraska more successful than most of the other states when it comes to getting jobs. You're watching the Omaha News.
PBS is the place you should go first.
There are no advertisers to be satisfied, only an audience to be satisfied.
We take our responsibility as journalists very seriously. We are constantly thinking about our viewers and what they care about.
We want to let you know what the information is, and then you decide what you want to think.
At the News Hour, we are after the facts and only the facts.
I knew as a music teacher that there were festivals for piano students and that type of thing going up, but there was no real public recognition of children's achievements in music until they got to be in high school.
I was embarrassed because I was in middle school, but it was interesting because I didn't think I was good at that point, because you're middle school, you're just you could be best in the orchestra, but you're not sure.
I just remember the joy and the giddiness that these students had. They loved coming to the station and having a tour of the station, and it really meant a lot to them to actually have an interview at this radio station, and they were all so excited and so passionate about music.
When I became a classical kid, I got to go to the Gilsha Hum concert at the Jazz and Art Museum, and that concert completely changed my life. Being a classical kid really changed the thought of, could I do music professionally? It was really nice winning something like that. It was pretty good.
The Classical Kids idea was one that stuck because KVNO is all about classical music. It was perfect.
You're watching the Omaha News.
Adults came together last month to show off their spelling abilities, but as Lindsay Peterson reports, the light-hearted fun of the Adult Spelling Bee was meant to highlight the high literacy rate in Omaha.
Ken Helmick is a 20-year ESL teacher at the Midlands Literacy Center.
I used to be a very good speller, but I was just telling my wife the other night that I don't spell quite as good as I used to, so it's going to be an experience.
Helmick was preparing along with other Omaha academics for the Midlands Literacy Center's 5th annual Adult Spelling Bee. Participants from Creighton University, Omaha Public Libraries, and the Mayor's Office flexed their spelling muscles to draw attention to staggering numbers of adult literacy in the metro. Jane Royce is a student of the Literacy Center, taking computer and job prep classes.
I went from not knowing what a computer and like a mouse was, knowing how to turn on and off a computer. Now I'm getting to know what online means, www.com. I don't have a computer at home, but I do now have email. I have an email account.
70,000 or 14% of Omaha adults are considered illiterate, functioning below an 8th grade reading and writing level.
It's one of those invisible issues in our community, so you can't look around when you're driving down the street or when you're in your neighborhood or at the grocery store. You don't know who can't read and write.
The Literacy Center, located on 18th and Harney, has seen its classroom size double in the last year, up to 600 students currently enrolled.
Individuals who are illiterate are very smart and innovative, and so students come here for a variety of reasons. Some of them want to complete their GED so that they can get a job or get a better job. And for some of our students, it's something a little closer to home. So maybe they're a little bit older, they've lost their loved one who used to read the mail and pay the bills.
So while not all students are trying to get into college, Kay says a literate community means less crime, less unemployment, and better health care. For the Omaha News, I'm Lindsay Peterson.
For anybody who wants to improve their literacy, visit the Literacy Center website at midlandsliteracy.org.
A plan has been proposed to try to improve U.S. students' literacy on the national scale. Panelists at a Brookings Institution event said that to improve students' literacy on the national scale, states need to develop and adopt assessments linked to the new standards, improve the system for reporting school performance, improve the curriculum taught in school to meet the new standards, and provide better professional development to ensure teachers are prepared to help their students to meet these new benchmarks.
With the economy seemingly in a downward spiral, Omaha isn't getting hit as bad as the rest of the country. Kevin Cleaver is in the newsroom with more. Kevin?
Thanks, Jan. As the nation's unemployment rate hovers around 8%, in Nebraska we're seeing rates around half that. Recently, UNO held a career fair that acted as a good representation of the job outlook in Omaha.
We're very fortunate that we have this large umbrella that helps find employment.
The UNO Career Center hosted a job fair at UNO's campus. At the job fair, employers from Omaha and the surrounding area offered students and alumni a chance to learn about current job openings in different companies around Omaha. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the national unemployment rate is currently 8.1%. In Nebraska, we have an unemployment rate less than half that, at 3.9%. And in Omaha, it's 4.2%. Nebraska's wide array of employment options is what keeps our employment rate low compared to the rest of the nation.
Part of the reason that we're successful in the Nebraska community is the fact that we have a diverse base. We have manufacturing, agriculture.
Here in Omaha, we're lucky to have a good economic outlook, and prospects do look good in the near future as well. But as evidenced by UNO's latest job fair, there are still many young people looking for jobs. One potential employer offered some advice for students seeking employment.
Get an internship, obviously would be an easy foot in the door, or just entry-level jobs. I know at Wells Fargo, that'd be like a teller or a banker position, kind of build up some experience that way. They've got their foot in the door of a good company, and then they can grow with the company.
And for more information regarding employment in Nebraska, visit dol.nebraska.gov. There you'll find resources dedicated to helping job seekers, as well as information on upcoming career fairs in your area. Jan?
Thanks, Kevin. Coming up, back in May, a lot of people were upset about having to change polling place locations.
We'll show you what the Douglas County Election Commissioner has done to fix the problem and what he's going to do to prevent it from happening ever again. You're watching the Omaha News.
UNO TV invites you to take a journey around the world, to lush jungles with endangered species, to exotic lands and different cultures, to lost cities beneath the sands. Travel through time to see ancient secrets on the other side of the world, the growth of the American West, or the start of Nebraska's largest city. Or just explore our state. Find out about Nebraska in World War II. Learn how Omaha has grown since. Discover the effort to renovate its green spaces, the history of one of its most impressive buildings, or look at its internationally recognized university. For over 20 years, UNO TV has produced award-winning documentaries that explore, educate, and enlighten. To find out more, call 402 554-2516 or visit unotv.unomaha.edu.
Something wasn't right.
Were they lying to the public?
There was a bigger story here than just a plane crash.
It's become the symbol of everything that's wrong with the industry.
My kid got 6 vaccines in one day and he regressed.
Not only are those children who aren't vaccinated at risk, but those who can't be vaccinated are at risk.
Nobody really knew what was going on. What was it in this market that had to be hidden?
I spent millions of dollars in cash, bribing government officials.
People in power do not like the investigation to come too close to them.
You never hear these stories.
Tuesdays on NET1.
You're watching the Omaha News.
Welcome back to the Omaha News. I'm Robbie Pinkelman.
And I'm Jan Moore. The presidential election is just over 4 weeks away. As Douglas County voters begin to think about their vote, do they know where they can do it? John D. Haskell has the answer.
Consolidated Polling Places is back in the news. The presidential primary held in May raised concern that precinct changes made it difficult for voters to find the right polling place. Polling place information is being sent out by mail, but some candidates may still have concerns. Douglas County Election Commissioner Dave Phipps thinks the uproar over polling places was slightly out of context.
But if you look at it, compared to 2 years ago, the primary, we had double the turnout. Compared to 4 years ago, we had nearly 10% higher turnout. So I don't think there was really all this, drama going on that I think a lot of people were thinking about.
With signs popping up in yards, it's good to review tips for voter preparation. You can find your polling place online at votedouglascounty.com. Another tip is to register before going to the polls. The registration form is basic and only takes a few moments to fill out. Dave Phipps says voter registration is down from 2008. He says the election isn't as intense with an incumbent running. However, things are picking up and more people are getting registered. As far as results go, unofficial results will be available the night of the election. Official results will be finalized a few days before Thanksgiving. For the Omaha News, I'm John D. Haskell.
If you want to find out more about polling locations, then you're in luck. John D. Haskell will be reporting from various polls around Omaha on Tuesday, November 6th for our election coverage.
According to the HuffingtonPost.com, Barack Obama is projected to have a sizable lead over Mitt Romney. Obama has a projected 332 electoral votes compared to 191 for Romney. Nebraska, however, has Romney as the winner with 53% of the vote. Right across the river, Iowa's leaning toward Obama, 48% to 44% for Romney. Colorado, where tonight's first debate takes place, is dead even. And probably the most important state, Ohio, is strong for Obama, 49 to 43. No Republican presidential candidate has ever won without the help of Ohio.
Vice President Joe Biden is coming to Council Bluff on Thursday. The event is at the Mid-America Center and is open to public, but tickets are required. Tickets are available at the Obama campaign office in Council Bluff at 1851 Madison Avenue, Suite 200. One ticket per person will be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis.
A Pennsylvania judge on Tuesday blocked the key component of a highly contested state law requiring strict photographic identification to vote in next month's election, saying the authorities had not done enough to ensure that voters had access to the new documents. The voter ID laws also got taken off the table in Texas and Wisconsin. It's been blocked in South Carolina, and early voting and voter registration drives have been restored in Florida and Ohio. Pennsylvania says it has issued 13,000 IDs purely for the purpose of voting, according to the Director of Public Relations for Pennsylvania's Department of State.
Voters go to the polls on Tuesday, November 6th. Join us that night to get all the election results, The Omaha News Vote 2012 begins at 7 p.m. on NET2 and the Knowledge Network. Our reporters will bring you all the election results from the presidential election to the state and local votes. And we'll have reactions from Nebraska Senate and House candidates. Join us November 6th at 7 p.m. Coming up after the break, the UNO men's basketball team starts their season on November 9th.
We'll show you what to look forward to in the 2012 campaign for arguably the Mavericks' toughest schedule in history. You're watching the Omaha News.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Vehicles now going supersonic.
When you want to go above.
It was something new.
Or reach beyond.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
When you want to peer inside.
There's something wrong here. This isn't normal.
It would seem almost impossible. Or push the limit.
Large tornado! It's humongous! We need to get out now!
When you want to dive deep.
These divers are like astronauts.
Our human nature is to push into places that we don't know about.
Or go to the edge.
There are other worlds out there.
We don't know exactly what we're going to find.
When you want to find new frontiers.
I was truly astonished.
You just don't ever know.
Nova.
Wednesdays on NET1.
You've always known you were a leader, someone who works hard to achieve your goals. You can see it. You can see your success in front of you. You pursue a college education for the old-fashioned reasons, to learn, to make yourself more valuable, to succeed. You need a place that celebrates your ambition and positions you alongside visionary people just like you. You, my friend, belong here, the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
Most local television news only gives you brief headlines about issues that may be important to you. But for more than 10 years, only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information about issues that really matter to Nebraskans. I'm Kathy Wyatt, and it's my privilege to present those issues for your consideration. Join me on the campus of UNO in a program we call Consider This, every week on NET1.
Basketball season is just over a month away, and UNO is about to start the second season of Division I play. Brett Kane is live from Sat Fieldhouse with our first look at the team. Brett?
Thanks, Jan. Maverick basketball ended last season with an 11-17 record, but came on late in the year, winning 4 of its last 7. The team will attempt to carry over that momentum as it embarks on their first full conference season, along with playing in a new arena and an in-state rival.
Has the competition been revved up a little bit? Yeah, you bet it has. But we have to understand the day-to-day process that we have to do to be successful at the level that we're going into.
UNO's transition to D1 continues in their new conference, the Summit League, but the non-conference trip to Lincoln against the Huskers in November is getting a lot of early attention.
It'll mean a lot more to probably our in-state guys than it will be to the out-of-state guys, albeit for out-of-state guys it's still a Big Ten school, it's a Big Ten venue, and it'll be a lot of fun to play in.
In addition to the new conference, the Mavericks' new home arena was also set to open this year. Rumors spread that the Ralston Arena plans might stall, but Hanson assures it's ready.
No, it's going to be done. We're going to play our games in there. We have the week or 10 days before that. We're going to be able to get some practices in there to get to get used to the place. So it is a home court for us. Yeah. But we're excited about Ralston Arena. It's not only going to be great for our staff and for our players. It's going to be great for our students and for our fans. It's an unbelievable place to watch a basketball game in. The students are going to be right on the floor. There's going to be shuttles to get there from campus. So from that standpoint, we're excited about it, but our student body should be excited for it as well. So I can't wait to see them down there.
Mavericks' first regular season game tips off on November 11th as they take on Tulane in New Orleans, followed on the 18th with their big game against the Huskers. Jan?
For tickets to any of the UNO sports games, go to omahasteam.com or visit the Sat Fieldhouse on UNO campus.
As the Mavericks are about to start, so is the other Division I team in town, the Creighton Blue Jays, as they have a bit of higher expectations. Sporting News has ranked Creighton at 14th in the preseason top 25, in front of some well-known programs such as Memphis, Florida, Wisconsin, Gonzaga, and Michigan State. Sporting News says that if any mid-major could recapture the magic of Butler and make it to the national title game, it could be the Blue Jays. Last season, Creighton finished with a 29-6 record. The Blue Jays finished second in the Missouri Valley Conference regular season, but won the conference tournament to get the automatic berth into the NCAA tournament. They lost to North Carolina in the third round. Indiana is selected as the top team by Sporting News, followed by Louisville, Ohio State, Kentucky, and Michigan.
And Creighton's best player is racking up the awards like crazy. Heading into his junior season, Doug McDermott is already the most decorated player in Creighton's history, and you can add one more to his list. McDermott has been named to the Sporting News preseason All-American First Team. Last season, as a sophomore, McDermott averaged 23 and 8 rebounds per game, leading the Blue Jays to the third-round loss to the Tar Heels. McDermott is joined on the first team by Cody Zeller of Indiana, James Michael McAdoo of North Carolina, Deshaun Thomas of Ohio State, and C.J. McCollum of Lehigh. Creighton will begin practicing with Blue Jays Madness on October 12th at 8 p.m. from Sokol Arena, which is free to the public. And then after an exhibition against the University of Mary, the Blue Jays start their regular season against North Texas from CenturyLink Omaha.
Another ranked Blue Jay team is the men's soccer team, ranked 24th in the nation. But Creighton is in a bit of a cold spell, being ranked as high as second as recent as September 16th. Then the Blue Jays went 0-2-1 in the next 3 games, with losses to St. Louis and Tulsa and a tie to Drake, to plummet 22 spots in the standings. Creighton, who lost to Charlotte on penalty kicks in the Final Four last season, finally got back to their winning ways with a 1-0 win over Loyola Chicago this past Tuesday. The Blue Jays' next game is against Southern Illinois Edwardsville, Saturday, October 6th from Morrison Stadium.
The Creighton women's soccer team isn't having much success, however. They stand at 3-7 record with 2 ties on the season. Their only wins in this year's campaign are over South Dakota, UNO, and South Dakota State. The Blue Jays are led by Millard North grad Brittany Newman, who has 5 goals on the season, and goalkeeper Katie Jo Swanson has started all 12 games, accumulating 80 saves. Creighton hits the road to Terre Haute, Indiana, to take on Indiana State Friday, October 15th, and then return home to Morrison Stadium October 11th against Drake. That's it for this week's edition on the Omaha News. Thanks again for watching. Looking for more? Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Omaha News.
While you're there, you can check us out. You can check out news stories our reporters recovered, submit story ideas, or give us feedback. We'd love to hear from you. From all of us here at the Omaha News and UNO Television, good night.
KVNO was in a really interesting place. This Victorian mansion near UNO.
3 floors. The studios were on the 3rd floor.
Bedrooms and bathrooms. So we had a challenge, but we ultimately ended up with an on-air studio.
We soundproofed it with carpet, and actually I think it sounded really warm, very radio friendly.
There were also rumors that the 3rd floor was haunted. Those were the maid's chambers, as we were told.
I had a sink in the office and leaded glass windows which looked out on the stable house in the back.
One colleague talking about having the window open one day, a warm spring or fall day, and a squirrel jumping through the window onto a turntable.
It was a great place, a great ambiance for a fine arts station.
It definitely had a charm to it.